What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to a happy match reaction after the Reds have gone over to Marseille and beaten Olympique Marseille by 3-0, a result that catapults Liverpool into the top 8 of this season's Champions League format, which is exactly where we want to be. A massive thank you to everyone that joined us for the watch along. We are now, of course, in our match reaction, and the man of the match poll is live. But before we get to it, I missed the super chat right at the end of the watch along, and I want to bring it up now. Bro, question, why is it that Liverpool can't be consistent? Like, they win games here and there, and it doesn't make sense to me. It's a question that we've been asking ourselves quite a bit as Liverpool fans. Sometimes it's maybe managerial decisions, sometimes it's players playing poorly, but you are right, it has been inconsistent, but hopefully things will change. Tonight, though, I will take that 3-0 victory very much, and well done to everybody concerned. The Reds got the job done in what was always going to be a difficult tie, and I said all week how important it was that Liverpool win this game, and they've gone and done just that, so fair play to everybody concerned. Your man of the match poll is as follows: Alisson Becker, Jeremy Frimpong, Milos Kerkez, or Dominic Szoboszlai. Please do cast your vote. Taking you through really quickly some of the statistics from the game, possession-wise. Marseille had more of the ball, 58% to Liverpool's 42%. Shots, Marseille 15, 4 on target. Liverpool 11 shots, 3 on target. Every one of them, well, the goal actually doesn't count as a shot on target, does it? Because it was an own goal. But there you go, 3 shots on target, 3 goals. Dangerous attacks, 58 for Marseille, 43 for the Reds. Corners, 7 for the home side, 4 for the away team. 570 passes for Marseille with a 90% accuracy. 413 for the Reds with 86%. But the main one is the scoreboard. And it was Liverpool who scored 3 goals tonight and kept a clean sheet. There was some messy moments as well in there. Let's not forget about them. Mohamed Salah will be asking himself how he didn't manage to score. Florian Wirtz didn't have one of his better games for the Reds. But all of that aside, well done to Joe Gomez as well, coming into the side tonight and making a huge impact. So well done to Joe. Milos Kerkez, I thought, was absolutely outstanding. Some of the great work that we did came through his side, and one of my favourite moments of the whole game came in the second half where he played that 1-2 with Hugo Ekitike, that seen a shot from Wirtz saved by the keeper, but if that had been a goal, it would have been down to Milos Kerkez and his really good work. Shay Trainer said Marseille made us look good. Look, honestly, Shay, to me, mate, at this moment in time, it really doesn't matter if they made us look good or not. We won, and we're Liverpool Football Club and we want to win games of football. So if they made us look good, so be it. We'll be found out another time. But tonight, let's just enjoy that for what it was, which was a very good 3-0 performance away from home, and I think one that we should be proud of. Kerkez had a great game, said Muller Games. I agree. You know, one of, if not, people were saying, is it his best game so far in the Liverpool shirt? Well, it's got to be up there. It's a good performance. Whatever I say about Gakpo, you want him in that spot, said Sonder. Look, I've always said this. We talk about Gakpo, whether he's one-dimensional or not. But what we always do say, and you can go back over it, is he always chips in. Every season, when you look at the goals and assists tally, Gakpo's up there. And tonight, he had an opportunity and he tucked it away. And fair play to him for that. Right, we played well, decent performance, and the scoreline doesn't flatter us. No, I don't think it does either. I think we were the better side, and, you know, 3-0 may be a little bit flattering, but certainly deserved to win that game by at least a couple. Great team performance, looked solid defensively. Mad to think that this is the same team that lost 4-1 to PSV. Hate to say it, but Canade needs to be dropped based on Gomez's performance. Well, I did ask that at the end of the watch-along, what you guys would do if you were Arna heading towards Bournemouth at the weekend. Would you bring Canade back into the side if available, or would you stick with Joe Gomez? Right, let's get to more of your comments. And don't forget, that man of the match poll is live for you to vote in. Gakpo Gray coming on, said Embrace Gaming. It was a lovely finish. You know, the defender slipped, which did give him a little bit more time. He took one touch, opened up his body, and scored it. I'm still trying to figure out, genuinely, I'm still trying to figure out what Salah was thinking with his chance. I was looking at the curvature of his foot, and it feels like he almost tried to just toe poke it or flick it near post and never really got the the right contact on it, and it looked awful. Love your honesty, Craig. Always pointing out things out. Top supporter. Look, when we play bad, I'll say we play bad. When we play well, I'll say we play well. And I'm not going to gloss this over. I was worried all week. I said it. This game to me was one that had me very, very nervy. And to be sitting here at the other side of a 3-0 result, I'm really, really happy. And I'm proud of the lads. And like I've always said, I want Liverpool to win games of football. There's still a lot more questions to be answered, but we have put our destiny for the Champions League knockout stages in our own hands now. We were always going to qualify inside the top 24, but we needed to make sure that we get into that top 8, and tonight did that. A win against Karabakh at home now next week, and that cements our place inside that top 8, which avoids the playoff round. Stats a poor reflection of our performance. I would agree with that. I thought we were in control of that game. I really do. And I don't think a win is in any way glorified. 2-0 probably felt about fair. 3's fair enough as well. But I would say we were at least a 2-goal side better in that game. People that say Marseille made us look good. We've played Inter and Marseille away back-to-back games and not concede to give the team some credit. Yes, that's more than fair, mate. Look, for me to sit here and say I was nervous all week about this game and not give the boys praise for a 3-0 win, I'd be an idiot. I'd be an asshole, quite frankly. So yeah, I'm with you on that one. We have had back-to-back performances in the Champions League that's seen us go to the Giuseppe Meazza and win by 1-0, and go over to the Stade Velodrome and win by 3-0. And if that isn't good enough, then I don't know. It'll do me for now anyway. Alisson saved their asses. Gakpo is a good super sub, said Muldor. Well, I don't think he saved their asses, mate. I mean, they had 4 shots on target in the whole game. Though Ali made a big save at the end from Aubameyang and a decent save in the first half. But, let's not try to pretend here that they were all over us or anything like it. I think we deservedly won that game. And look, I see my role like this. When I think there's things to be criticised, I'm going to come on and criticise them. But I never have and never will have an agenda against anybody. I'll call it as I see it. And tonight, the manager set the team up and they got the result. That deserves credit. A clean sheet deserves credit. Gomez coming in and playing well deserves credit. The performance from Milos Kerkez deserves credit. Gakpo coming off the bench and scoring deserves credit. So let's be fair about it. It doesn't mean that we might not have another poor result in us soon. But, enjoy the wins we do have. And tonight is one of those that we should be celebrating. So enjoy it. Enjoy it, Reds. Find the pass, 2019 Joe Gomez. Wow. Akatike mentality. Olympic Marseille 17 goals in 3. Yep, it was a bit stat pad. No, they did have a 9-0 win in the French Cup against the lower tiered side. But that being said, yeah, they... I expected a lot more from Marseille tonight, and we kept them quiet. De Zerbi's side tried to play brave football and play out, and we were clever in when we pressed, how we pressed, what traps we set. And for all the criticisms I do give, I'm not afraid to give the praise as well, and the game plan tonight was right. Kerkez played great tonight. Bournemouth signed Alex Toth, the 20-year-old Hungarian central midfielder. He'll probably play against Liverpool this Saturday. Thank you for that one, mate. We'll keep an eye out for him. Kerkez and Frimpong are top-notch, said Adam Brown. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate you being a member with us, mate, for 16 months as well. So, someone said Salah is so washed. I'm trying. Oh God, I'm trying. I'm trying hard. Does it matter? Ultimately, we won the game. Salah was in the team and he missed a chance or two, yes. But we won the game 3-0. Where's the negativity coming from? We have enough time for negativity when we play poorly and don't get the result. On tonight's like tonight, when what we've been through as a community, as a fan base lately has been tough going. Enjoy this one. Let's not focus on the few negative things that happened. Let's focus on the positives and hope we can back it up against Bournemouth at the weekend. What's the channel called again? It's the Anfield Agenda. I said I don't have an agenda against anyone, and I don't. But, you know, the channel is about Anfield. It's about the Reds. I really wish Slot turns this around. Am I crazy? Look, there's nothing wrong with wanting the manager to turn it around. I want the manager to turn it around. Do I think he will? Honestly, no. But that doesn't mean I don't, want it to happen or I'm open for it to happen. Tonight is a good result, and tonight we feast, as they say. So, yeah, just enjoy it. It's a 3-0 win away from home in Europe against a decent side. Great, tidy performance, said Malty. Kieran Lorgan said, delighted with the performance. I was at the Burnley game and it wasn't the worst, just no cutting edge. We had that today, finally. Yeah, against Burnley, there was no denying we played well and should have won that game. And that's where the frustration came from, is that they had very little and yet we still conceded. Tonight, we were the better side and came out with a result that the performance probably deserved. Unbeaten in 13 now, yes, which is what are we on now? 7 draws and 6 wins, something like that. But still, look, each in its own isolation. And tonight, the context of the game is important. We went into this outside the top 8 positions. I said before the game, and I made a point of underlining this and saying, we need to get a result tonight. And we did. Well done. Just simple as that. Well done to the boys and the manager for getting the performance out of them and getting the result. Well done to everybody. Julio Cesar said, very good defensive performance. Should have been a higher scoreline if we'd taken our chances. Got to build on this and be more consistent. 100%. Yeah, 100%. There's no denying it. You got to go and back this up now with a win against Bournemouth and a good performance. Then we've got Karabag, and you could imagine he'll make a couple of changes there. Then a very difficult game. Newcastle coming to Anfield, 8 p.m. kickoff. That's going to be a tough one as well. They had a good win tonight themselves, and they're going to feel like, they owe us one after the victory up at St. James's Park earlier in the season, the Rio Engamoa game. Liverpool might do well in the Champions League because teams don't play as defensively as in the Prem. Well, it's our only real hope of one of the 2 majors this year, and even at that, I still think it's highly unlikely that we do it, but we're in there. And once we're in there, we'll see what happens. Ronnie Wood said, Dom had a tough evening. Kirk has great performance. Frimpong has speed to burn. And second, Alisson great saves. Love having Salah play inside. I liked that area for Salah as well, mate. I do. I think, sometimes we've said when he picks the ball up, he's too wide of an area and he struggles to impact in the game. Today he was a bit rusty. He was also away from the team for quite a bit of time. But I think he looked more comfortable in there, and Frimpong having that burning pace that he has allowed us to keep that width with him. And again, Milos on the other side as well. So, yeah, plenty of good performances. And, hopefully things start to click. What I would say is, and I'm not calling this as a negative, but I think Wirtz was sloppy tonight. And I think he'd admit that himself. And Szoboszlai did a lot of great stuff. But again, some of the timings of the passes could have been a little bit better. But that's me being hyper critical. But all in all, like I said, we go away in Europe to a tough place and get a 3-0 win. I'll always take that. We'll take you through some of the quotes from after the game now. A win, a clean sheet, no Canade. What does this tell you? Well, it tells me that I'd be playing Joe Gomez against Bournemouth on Saturday, is what it tells me. Right, let's give you some quotes from our captain, Virgil van Dijk. Said, I've played with Joe Gomez many times. It helps that we're very good friends as well, but I think he was outstanding. With the third goal, he started it all off. I'm pleased for him and the team. Everybody put in a shift today. Can't argue with that from Virg. He also said it's always difficult to play against the Zerbi teams. If you're not front-footed, they can play out easily. Overall, I think the performance is very good. Something to build on. Again, spot on. I'm not sure what's gone on exactly with Canade, but Virgil has said this about that situation. My thoughts are with Canade. I'm very happy to play with Joe. We're good friends. That helps as well. He played outstanding and was important in the first goal. Also from our captain, He said, we keep saying after a win or a good result, it's just to fully focus on recovery right now, and then we're going to Bournemouth. They're a very difficult team to beat, a team that plays very good football and a very good manager. We have to be more than ready. Also, Virgil saying on reports of a team meeting, saying obviously there was going to be a meeting after the Burnley game, but it didn't say there was a meeting by me. I don't know where this misinformation is coming from. So Virgil saying that he didn't call a team meeting anyway. Right. Where are we? This one. Slot Tactics got it right tonight. Yeah, he did. And I said that about 5 or 10 minutes ago. And the game plan was right tonight, and we executed it properly. And as many others have said, and I agree with, that could have been won by a bigger margin as well, had we had our finishing boots with us. Can I read out the match stats? Yes, of course. Percentage of possession for Marseille, 58 for Liverpool, 42. Total shots in the game, 15 for Marseille with 4 on target, 11 for Liverpool with 3 on target. Dangerous attacks, 58 for the home side, 43 for us. Corners, 7 for Marseille, 4 for Liverpool. Total passes, 570 for Marseille, with a passing accuracy percentage of 90. Liverpool, 413, 413 passes, with a passing accuracy percentage of 86%. In the house said, hey Craig, well happy with the result tonight. Glad Frimpong was on and wondered how that would work with Salah, but I liked Salah a little more inside. Yep, same. And I just think, if Mo gets his shooting boots back on, that role of Frimpong there could lead to Mo having many more chances to score goals in the second half of the season. Right, don't forget about the man of the match poll as well. We've nearly had 5,500 votes. The 4 options we have for you today are Alisson Becker, Jeremy Frimpong, Milos Kerkez and Dominic Szoboszlai. And it's very, very close. So every single one of your votes really does make a difference there. Also, don't forget, if you want to submit your player ratings or enter into the giveaways we're going to be doing every month with our friends in the Collector's Corner, we'll be giving away a signed item every month. Make sure that you are signed up to the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp by scanning the QR code on the screen or screenshotting it if you have an iPhone and then holding down on the QR code, or you can go to the link in the description to sign up to the WhatsApp as well. I'll be recording the player ratings video as soon as this match reaction is done. Right, let's keep going. Hayley said, I love this feeling of winning. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? It's nice, Hayley. It's one of them feelings that you could get used to, right? Less gaps in midfield tonight, said 60s Red. What do you think about Dominic's free kick goal? I think it was brilliant. I said it kind of reminded me of Coutinho or Messi, who've done that a few times as well. I'd love to hear from Dom whether he'd been watching videos or, whether he knew that wall jumped more often than not, or whether it was something that he just decided in the moment. But either way, good decision and a great execution of the free kick as well. Alex said, "G'day Craig, better from slot today. I still get concerned with how we're missing our open play chances. There's definitely more to come from us, and we did waste a few chances today. And if we can put our shooting boots on, and don't forget we've got Isak to come back eventually as well. Fingers crossed. Winning the Champions League is about peaking at the right time. Winning the Premier League, you've got to be consistent over the whole course of the season. But like we've seen with PSG and others before, if you can time your form, if you can time these things, you can get it right in the Champions League. You can go on that run all the way. So let's keep our fingers crossed that this is the start of something. But we've another game coming up at the weekend, and we got to keep our league form going as well and make sure that we can try and climb back up that Premier League table. Embrace Gaming said we're winning number 7. You heard it here first. Can we win the Champions League or any cup this season? Look, yes we can, but I still don't think we will. Are we the best season team in the Champions League now? No, we're not. Let's be honest about it. But it's a knockout competition once it gets into the next stage, and you've just got to be right on the day. Home and away against anybody, we're a match for them. So let's wait and see. I still don't think it's likely. I wouldn't be putting money on us winning it, but What I would say is, if we can get it right, if the form does click, well, I've said all the way through, the talent is here. There's no denying we have the talent. It's just putting it together and making sure we perform well. And if you don't concede like we didn't tonight, that goes a long way. And, we found the back of the net 3 times. Much better. 3 shots on target, 2 of them in the back of the net. Much better performance. Hugo deserved a goal tonight, said Leach as well. Unlucky for him. Right, let's give you some more quotes. Where are we at? Sorry. Right, let's give you this one. So, Stevie G, talking about Mo Salah's performance, said he did a great job for the team and worked really hard. He did. Just didn't have his shooting boots on, unfortunately. But look, everybody put in a shift there tonight. A win at home to Qarabağ will guarantee Liverpool a top 4 spot in the Champions League standings for the group stage. Not a bad effort after the poor results against Galatasaray and PSV. Absolutely. I've said all the way through that top 8 is important. And tonight is well, look, it goes a long way to putting us into that top 8, and we will be there. At this point, we will. Lewis said, I think that Joey was phenomenal today. I would agree with that, Lewis. I thought he put in a damn good shift as well, mate. Well said. Salah let us down. He should be dropped. It was his first game back from a month or more away. He looked a bit rusty in front of goal, but I actually think the position he was in is more suited to him. And I would say, if he continues to get used in that position, I think we'll see his numbers go up in the second half of the season. I really do. Raekwon said, I feel like we're a better European team than in the Prem. We look good today. Latte Top said, we can win it. Arsenal made the semis with an injury crisis last season. It's about the luck of the draw, meeting teams at the right time, etc. Well, the one thing that is guaranteed to Arsenal and whoever finishes second is that they will have the second leg at home all the way through the knockout stages, which of course we didn't have the luxury of last year, albeit, ironically, we did have the second leg at home when we got knocked out against PSG. But for me, I just wanted to make sure we're inside that top 8. And like I said, if you hit form at the right time in the Champions League, anything is possible. So let's hope that this is the start of us starting to figure it out. Frimpong is quickly becoming a legend, said GB. Frimpong was absurdly good for a right wing back, said Dutch Gamer X. Gomez played well, gives VVD lots of confidence, said Philip Sims. Yep, like I said, it's an interesting decision now what to do, because I know that the situation with Canade is kind of out of his hands as the family emergency, but still I thought João Gomez played really well today, and that can't escape the manager's thought process as well, especially with the Canade contract situation. Amazing game. I think the whole team were fantastic in defence, said Snake Salah, as in Salsa, excuse me, Snake Salsa, my apologies. One point separates third to 15. Still need to be careful in the last game. Yeah, but look, you have to feel confident, surely, at home against Qarabağ. I mean, if we're not beating Qarabağ at home in the Champions League, then we've got bigger problems. The legend said both through, legend being an Arsenal fan, yeah. And I was only saying earlier on, mate, what a good result it was for you lads as well. 3-1 away against Inter. Right, so man of the match poll. I think it's nearly there. We'll let it get to 6,500 votes, so 90 more to go. And then we'll tell you who your Anfield Agenda man of the match was. And it is really close between 2 particular individuals. So if you haven't voted yet, please do. I wanted that first goal to happen for Joe in Champions League, said Jaden. Yeah, the header, man, in the first half. You could even see him. He knew he should have done a bit better with it, but you got to keep hoping that Joe gets his goal. He can't finish his Liverpool career without a goal. Bodo beat City. Right, and what's that got to do with us playing Qarabağ at home? I mean, I know shocks are possible, but with all due respect, if we're playing Karabag at home in the Champions League, I would expect to win that game. Although to be fair, I would have expected to be PSV Eindhoven at home as well, and that didn't work out. Liverpool remain unbeaten in each of their last 13 matches in all competitions with 7 wins and 6 draws. The longest ongoing streak for any team in Europe's Big 5 leagues. That's an interesting stat. So yeah, 7 wins, 6 draws, and apparently it's the longest from any team in Europe's top 5 leagues. Also, when I remember that tonight was Virgil van Dijk's 350th game for Liverpool, so a good milestone up for the gaffer, for the captain as well. And congratulations to Virg on 350 appearances and, of course, on a 3-0 win. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we have now passed the tally, and your man of the match is Dominik Szoboszlai. It was really close, and I've got to say, I slightly disagree with you. I would have gone for number 2, Milos Kerkez, but it is Dominik Szoboszlai, and of course it is a democratic process here on Anfield Agenda. Dominik Szoboszlai wins it with 35% of the vote. Second place, Milos Kerkez, 33%. Then came Jeremy Frimpong with 22% and Alisson Becker with 10%. Connor, can we get a second poll on who would you play against Bournemouth, Canade or Gomez? Just out of curiosity for the remainder of the match reaction, if you could, mate. Gomez nearly had his first Liverpool goal. Hope he gets it before the decision's made in his career. So do I. He deserves that moment. Right. A couple of super chats to get through. This one. Craig, has Frimpong unlocked the next level for Liverpool? The lad has skills I didn't know were legal. Cheers. So my question was, right, when Salah was away, we'd seen Frimpong in a much further forward position. And I thought, okay, he looks good there. What will happen when Salah comes back in? And tonight, I think we've seen the answer, which is Frimpong providing the width and having the pace, of course, in the engine to get up and down that right side. And then Salah playing in the half space of the inside channel. So yeah, he's made a big difference there. And in a different way. You know, what we had with Trent was a right back who was almost like a midfielder. But what we have here is a right back who is a winger. And hopefully it can unlock Salah and other space for us as well, because you're right, he was really good. Jaden said Hugo cross with Szoboszlai equals Torres and Gerrard. Wirtz Coutinho. I think Wirtz will be a much better player than Coutinho over the course of his time. I really do. What a game. The boys done good, Craig, said Andrew Jameson. Absolutely. Yep, tonight's one of those nights where the lads can go to bed, put their head in their pillows and know it's job well done, and everyone put their shift in, and everyone gets credit, including the gaffer. Regards from Budapest. Go Szoboszlai Kerkez. Thank you, mate. Appreciate you. Thank you for your support. So I gotta just do one thing. There's a comment I spotted before it was deleted, and it said, "Stop praising and supporting us now. We all know you're results oriented. This kind of win has been coming, but you couldn't see it because you were too focused on results." Football is a results-driven business, mate. Respectfully. And don't tell me what to stop praising or not praising. I call it as I see it. I said the Burnley performance was good, and it was. We should have won the game and we didn't. So don't ever tell me what to do. And if you think it's so easy, crack on and start your own channel and work on with it. But I'm not a results-driven person. I'm a person that knows what he's looking at. And if you think we've played great this season and been unlucky, well, then I would say you want to flip that question around and ask yourself to having a look at your football knowledge, because that performance tonight was good and it's praised. The Burnley performance was praised, but we shit the bed and let a goal go in at the end. I call it as I see it. And I'm not a results-driven person. I'm just not an idiot, unlike some. I say Gomez, but Slot will go with Canade, said Stevie Boy. Well, let's wait and see. Imagine a football fan being a results-driven person anyway. Even if I was. Imagine that. Imagine a football fan being driven by results. I mean, it's almost as if you want your team to win every week is the norm. You should go on Mastermind, fella. Specialist subject, fuck all. Gomez was a decent partner for VVD a couple of seasons back before injury. That's how we got a decent contract. I think he needs game time. Well, look, to be fair to Joe, some of the game time that he hasn't gotten has been because of injuries as well. And that has been Joe's biggest problem throughout his Liverpool career is, can he stay fit? You know, we've all known what a good player Joe Gomez is. And as Verge said, and rightly said, they've played together many times over the years. So him coming in tonight was a little bit less daunting than, let's say, Endo going in there alongside him, who we know hasn't played together. So at least there is that, not just friendship, but understanding with both of them, as Virgil rightly mentioned. Right, let's keep going. Gomez would have been the top player if not for the injuries. Karabakh beat Frankfurt 3-2, so it won't be easy. There's so many things that people are saying and not putting the context in it. Frankfurt are shy. We wiped the floor with them in Frankfurt. And Karabakh beat them in Karabakh. We're playing them at Anfield. And we wiped the floor ourselves away from home with Frankfurt. So, look, maybe I'm being arrogant here. And I'm open to that. But I can't sit here and have any fear of us at home playing Karabakh in the Champions League. Come on. That should be. That's the result. Let's be honest. When the fixtures came out, that's the one you looked at and said, yeah, that's grand. That'll be a handy last game. And it should be. With all due respect, it should be. And we should cement our place in that top four with a victory. So let's hope we do. But either way, tonight was a night where I was nervous going into the game as a fan. A night where I wanted a performance from the lads. And we got one. We got a result and a performance. And as I said earlier on, Arna got his setup right. The players played well. And that's a difficult place to go. And you don't want to let them get their noses in front. And you don't want to give them any confidence. And we didn't do that. So well done. Timo said, we're so much better when we're not holding the ball for the entire game. We need to increase the speed of attacking games against weaker sides. I think we did that in the first half against Burnley. And probably in the second half as well, a lot of the time. But ultimately, it was that one chance, one goal scenario that landed us in a whole bag of trouble. Because you go back and watch the watch-along, we were talking about that first 45 and saying, look, it does look like we're moving the ball quicker. We're a bit more on the front foot. And we were stretching it a bit more, getting it into wider areas, trying to create overloads, which is the things that you would want to do against a low block. But just that stupidity again, defending, giving up an opportunity and then not being able to kill it off up the other end. That's been a problem so often this season. You know, you go in a game and you look at the stats and we can see 2 shots and 2 goals and it leaves a sour taste. Whereas tonight, the exact opposite. Tonight was composed and controlled from start to finish. Not from here travel said, love this community and I just want to thank you. I don't always agree with your opinion, but that just makes it better. We'd all have the same goals. Exactly. Look, it wouldn't be fun if we all agreed all the time. And I'm certainly not sitting here saying I'm always right. But the only people I don't have time for are the arseholes who just come in to be negative and don't back up an opinion with that and just, I'm an arsehole, look at me, I'm an arsehole. So they're the only people that ever get booted out, really, mate, to be honest. But tonight, look, all I can keep saying is the same stuff. I'm a happy man. Tonight we got a win that we deserved and a game that had me nervous running up to it. I'll sleep soundly tonight. Double L Line said Gomez for me, but I still love Ibu. He's had some bad news and he's not been worse than McAllister or Gakpo, just in a worse position and next to golden balls. I disagree on Kanade. Look, his news, of course, like I said, I actually don't know what's happened. But I do, of course, wish him and his family nothing but the best. But he's been shit for a lot of this season. Like, let's just be honest about that. And doesn't seem to want to stay at the club and sign a new deal, or is asking for way too much money. So for me, I've always said this, and this isn't a reactionary thing. I've been a big believer in it. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you get a chance and you take your chance, I think you keep the shirt. And Gomez got a chance tonight, and yes, the reasons for that chance might not be one that anybody would have wished for, but he got his chance and he took it. And I think that deserves credit to Joe, hence I'd be giving him the start against Bournemouth. Darren said, Craig's it's still okay to send money for the fighter in Ireland. We've hit the target, Darren. We've hit the target, so I'm certainly not going to be sitting here asking for anybody else to make more donations. We've hit the target that was looked for. And thank you so much to everybody for that. But yes, if it's still open, and I don't control the GoFundMe, his mum set it up, but if it's still open and you want to, by all means, my friend, thank you. Aaron said, to be honest, Craig, I don't think we're back. I'm celebrating the win because we haven't had one in a bit, but I think we lose the next 3 Premier League games. I hate to say it. Hopefully we don't and get Arna out. Look, I agree with you in that I'm not exactly sitting here convinced we've turned the corner. But I try to be a man that calls things as I see them when I see them. And tonight was a win and a good performance. What happens against Bournemouth, we'll find out on Saturday. And I'm going to take more convincing before I'm fully back around to thinking, yeah, we're in the right direction. But I'll always want us to win. And we did it. And tonight wasn't a lucky one. Tonight, like, Inter Milan away, we got a late penalty. And, that was a game that was probably deserving of a draw. This one, we played better and deserved the win. And I actually think the stats almost, if you just looked at the stats of this game, you probably think it was a little bit generous to us. I don't think it was, though. When you were looking at it and watching it, I thought we controlled the game for large parts. Jaden said, Mo probably still jet lag. Big fan, finally got a job today. Nice, well in. Congrats, Jaden, that's awesome. And look, yeah, apart from jet lag, Mo's been away from the team for a bit as well. And he came in today and did a job for the team, and well done. He should have got a goal, but well done. Love when you silence the idiots, Sack Slot. Look, I'm not convinced by Arna, by any stretch, mate. I'm not. But I'm not going to sit here and try to talk about a negative on a positive night. If the manager does something wrong, I'll call it. Excuse me. And tonight the manager set the team up and got a result. So, yeah, fair play. Nothing but praise for that. Lovely night. Even you said you're not expected to win. Maybe 2-2. Yeah, it's a difficult place to go, which is what makes this result one that deserves the plaudits from me and anybody else. Not only did we go over there, we controlled it, we limited their chances, and we silenced the Stade Velodrome. So well done. Arna set the team up right. The lads went with the game plan and executed it properly, and they deserve that credit. Have I seen what Arna said after the game? I haven't yet got it. Oh, hang on. I have a few little bits of quote coming in here. So Arna on a consistent run said, I know so well why we're not consistent, and that has mainly to do with a game is more open, when tactics are involved, when players can play through the lines, and they can show how good they are. That's a completely different game against a low block. You need completely different quality against a low block. In a low block, it's not what you do before the game. You just have the ball a lot. You get in the final third, and something should happen. You cannot compare that to tonight. He's not wrong, but it doesn't really change anything. You are going to have more of the ball against a low block team, but my answer to him saying that has always been the same thing. You were given the tools to unlock those low blocks when you brought in Florian Wirtz, Hugo Ekitike, Alexander Isak, Jeremy Frimpong. So, we can't expect everybody to come and play against us like they're prime Barcelona and come and play attacking, open, expansive football against us. We don't have any right to expect that from anybody, but I just wish he'd shut the fuck up about the low block, because I feel like the more he talks about it, the more he's almost egging on opposition managers into trying to frustrate us. Dominic Soboslai on the free kick said, I did my homework. I was told if nobody was laying down to try and hit it under the wall, and that's what I did. I actually am delighted that he came out and gave us that bit of information. because I was wondering if he'd been looking it up or not. Welcome to Anfield Agenda FC, K_2112. Thank you, mate. Appreciate you joining. Arna on Liverpool being in the top 8 in the Champions League said it's very important we stay there. People can see the squad we have. We have 3 players out with long injuries. It's almost crucial for us that we don't have to play these extra games. Well, he ain't wrong. He ain't wrong about that at all. I've been saying that myself all week, and thankfully we don't have to play those extra games if we beat Karabag, and it's in our own hands and it's looking good. The low block thing, honestly, it's stuff like that, by the way, that has fans wound up. Like, it's almost like he feels insulted by anybody coming and playing with a low block. Like, if you were a coach and you were going to play a team that you knew had far better players than you, if the game was open and was going to pick you apart, you're not going to go and play expansive football against them, are you? It's just basic stuff. And the fact that he keeps banging on about it, he lets us know one thing, that he's concerned about it. Because you don't keep banging on about something if you're not concerned about it. And I think he's overcompensating in how he's talking about it. Stevie G, speaking about Arna, said, I'm really pleased for him. It can't be easy when you're under that pressure. His tactics were spot on tonight. He deserves a lot of praise and credit. He needs to stop mentioning low blocks. Low blocks have been happening against Liverpool since I was playing. That's just the way it is. Thank you, Stevie. Thank you. Thank you. And he ain't bleeding wrong. Thank you, Gerard, for finally coming out and saying what we all are sick of hearing about, which is him banging on about low blocks. Yes, tonight is a night where he got it right, and it is a night where praise is deserved. But he couldn't even take that win, could he? And just go off and say yes. He still has to bring up the low block conversation, and when you've even got Gerard calling it out, I think that tells you we're all fed up of listening to him with the low block excuse. Gomez, brilliant tonight, plus 3 points, but please sack Slot, said Shane. Rocky said, Gomez signed for Liverpool 11 years ago, Rodgers. Amount of times he's jumped in across the back four, underrated club legend that never rocks the boat. I can't disagree with that at all, mate. I've always said Gomez is like having 1.5 players when he's fit, because he can play in so many different positions. And has been an incredible servant to the club. Absolutely agree with you. Who was awarded Man of the Match on TV tonight by the commentators? I don't know, is the honest answer, mate, because I listened to the game on mute, so I've no idea who was Man of the Match by TNT Sport. What's this out? Love Wirtz, but hope he doesn't become a Luis Garcia type player where he's brilliant 70% of the time and non-existent for the other games. Tonight, I feel like Wirtz just, his touch was heavy and he was taking one touch too many at times. The chance that was created that the keeper saved at the near post, I think he should have hit that first time rather than trying to get it out of his feet, because I don't think it was really, there was a need for a first touch. Maxinoid said Slot needs to know how to break teams down when they sit back. That's the difference between managing a lower league team and a top club. Stop moaning, Slot. You're better than that. Exactly. We need to create overloads at the back post, move the ball quicker, and stop with this almost begging teams to come and play with it against us. Thank you, mate. Appreciate you. Sorry, Craig, but you have to laugh at you listening to the game on mute. Why? I've been doing that for 8 years. It's a copyright thing. Like, if I put in a headphone, right, and I was listening through a headphone, the way my autism is with my, what would I call it? I don't know what the technical word for this is, but I get jumble. So if I'm trying to talk and somebody's in my ear and I'm listening to the commentary, I'll end up either answering the person that's in my ear, the commentator, or repeating it. So I do have sensory issues around that, and competing noises for me just feel like jumbles. So that's why I never have headphones rattling in, and I do watch the games on mute. And then I watch them back later on, obviously, with the sound on, and hear a few things I have missed. Nessie said, someone tell me we can still win 1-0 or 2-0 against low blocks without throwing up the lead in the second half, and then don't show the urgency to score again. Well, look, I don't know. We'll see what happens in the next one, but I don't expect Bournemouth to play with a low block. I don't expect Newcastle really to come and play with a low block. So let's see. And there is, we've got some tough league games coming up now. So let's hope this is the start of building some confidence and trending in the right direction. No, Craig, listen and on mute is funny. Sorry, did I say I listened to the game on mute? My apologies. Yeah, I get where you're coming from. Sorry. Yeah, and do you know what? I've said that so many times and I've never copped it until he's pointed it out to me there. I listened to the game on mute. That's fair. Yeah, I watch it with the sound muted. Is probably what I should be saying. But yeah, and I must have said that 500 times by now and I've never copped it. Greg said, hello from California. Know anything about Fede's warm-up injury, or was he pulled from the bench for a starter? Love the content, Craig. I know nothing of it, Greg, other than somebody told me that he got an injury in the warm-up. I don't think he would have been in the starting 11 because, as somebody pointed out, that's usually put out before the warm-up. So other than that, I don't really know what's happened, Greg. I will adhere to find out, though, and certainly we'll have a bit more info on it tomorrow for you. Right, ladies and gentlemen, let's start to wind this one down before we get to the player ratings video, which, don't forget, will be coming out at probably about 11:15. So if you haven't joined the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp yet, let's hope that you do, because you get a chance to submit your player ratings, and of course our giveaways with thanks to Collector's Corner will be doing in there as well. So make sure you scan the QR code in the bottom corner. Right, we asked you who starts alongside Van Dijk versus Bournemouth, and with 88% of the vote, you said Joe Gomez should be starting that game, and I would be in agreement with you. Right, ladies and gents, if I ask you two little favours before you go, if you can, hit that subscribe button for me. And also, don't forget to hit the like button. We're only 140 likes away from 1,000. The Reds have won 3-0 away from home in Europe. We've cemented their place inside the top 8 of this season's Champions League phase, with one game to go next week against Karabag, where if we win it, we will be guaranteed that spot in the top 8, which is certainly the aim when you go into these competitions. After that, we've got Bournemouth coming up at the weekend as well, so the preview for that will be coming out soon. Tomorrow, probably, actually, because they're playing Saturday. I will be back with the player ratings video in about 20-25 minutes. Connor will be here in the morning with a news video. I'll be here late afternoon with another one. And then, of course, tomorrow night we'll be here for the late night agenda. As long as we're still in the Champions League and the FA Cup slot remains in office, and I can understand that, I guess, it's hard to see how he doesn't last the season. Well, like I said during the week, mate, our information is that he lasts the season unless something super dramatic happens in the other direction. But look, let's see how things go between now and the end of the season. I'm a Liverpool fan. I only ever want us to do well. And if he can turn this around, win one of the major trophies and have a good end to the season, then he deserves to keep his job. I'm just not going to be pushing all my chips in on that side just yet. Right, folks, much love to you all. Again, 40 likes to go to 1,000. If you can, that'd really be great. And again, don't forget to submit your player ratings. There's still time. You can use the QR code in the bottom right-hand corner, or there is a link in the description as well. The Reds have won 3-0. We'll take that, and much love to all of you, and thank you for your support.